Hi, my name is Dr. Catherine Hughes from CrimePsych. CrimePsych was set up in 2018 to bring flexible and affordable learning to everybody, and I do this by offering a range of online and face-to-face courses on various aspects of criminal psychology and offender profiling. I also produce a range of interesting and engaging blogs, videos and free courses. I'll put a link to the website in the video description. In this second video of the Christmas Safety series, I'm going to talk about how you can stay safe while you're out partying over the festive season. Criminal psychologists and researchers like myself study the behaviour of offenders in order to understand and reduce offending. However, this video isn't about me being a criminal psychologist. I'm speaking to you from personal experience. When I'm talking about staying safe while you're out partying, I'm specifically talking about the risks of being spiked, raped or assaulted in some way. Let me first start by saying that I'm not saying that you are responsible for other people's bad behaviour. I'm sure you might have heard the term victim blaming. For example, some people might think that girls are asking for trouble if they go out in particularly revealing clothes. So let me start by saying you can wear whatever you want and you do not deserve to be objectified, raped or sexually assaulted. As far as I'm concerned, you can walk around topless and you're still not asking for it. Similarly, you can accept a drink from whomever you like and you're not asking to have your drink spiked. However, what I am saying is that there are some simple measures you can take to ensure that you're as safe as possible from offenders. Those who intentionally hurt, harm, rape or spike others are entirely to blame for their behaviour and should be held accountable for it. Okay, moving on to the party. You've got yourself ready and you're headed to the party, and this might be a works Christmas party, it might be going to a friend's house or the local pub or club with some friends. You have a few drinks and everybody's having a good time. A lot of people wouldn't accept drinks from a stranger, but after you've had a few drinks, you might. This happened to me only last year. I accepted a drink from somebody I didn't know and I was spiked. I accepted it because I'd already had a few drinks and he seemed like such a nice guy. It can happen to anyone, so do stay vigilant. If you're holding a bottle, you want to put your thumb over the top of it. If it's a glass, then don't let that glass go from your sight. You can even buy small test patches now that you can put a drop of your drink onto it and it tells you whether the drink contains any of the common drugs which are used for spiking, so they're really useful to have. The next tip seems obvious, but don't drink too much. Discuss with your friends how much you plan on drinking and give each other gentle little reminders throughout the evening. Maybe even have a soft drink in between the alcoholic ones, because it's easy to drink too much or to not realise how much you've had until it's too late. You are going to make yourself much more at risk if you're so drunk that you can't stand up or you keep falling over and stumbling. Throughout this, I'm talking in general about being a female victim and having a male offender, but that's not to say that it couldn't be the other way around or the offender couldn't be the same sex as you. I'm mostly talking from a personal perspective where I've been the victim and the perpetrator has been a male. But all of these safety tips are gender neutral. Men are not exempt from being spiked, raped or attacked. So plan your Christmas night out beforehand with your friends and stay with them. Make sure that you've got your mobile phone with you at all times and make sure it's fully charged as well before you go out. Sometimes bags can be stolen or lost during a night out, so if you do lose your friends and you have no phone, arrange a specific place where you can meet back up. Another good way of ensuring your safety is to plan how you're going to get home. Book a taxi from a licensed company or arrange for a friend or a family member to come pick you up. But of course, being a taxi driver doesn't exclude you from becoming an offender. Some individuals will put themselves into positions where they can access vulnerable people. There have been a few crimes that involve taxi drivers. And I'm not saying this to try and scare anyone, but just to encourage you to take precautions. Take a photo of the registration and license number, or maybe even of the driver's face. Honest taxi drivers will understand. A good example of a taxi driver who's an offender would be John Warboys. John Warboys was a London black cab taxi driver who picked up women and fares late at night in central London. He'd tell each of the women that he was celebrating coming into a large amount of money, usually by winning the lottery or winning at a casino, and then he'd show her a carrier bag full of money to back his story up. And then he'd suggest to the woman that she should drink a glass of champagne with him, which he drugged with sedatives. After the drugs had taken effect, he would rape or sexually assault the woman. Sometimes these women had little memory of what had happened to them. Some men, and again, you can substitute genders wherever you want here, are predatory. They don't go out to have a good time with their friends. Some people will go out intentionally looking for vulnerable people who they can target and rape. You can be raped by a stranger or by somebody you know. I was sexually assaulted from somebody who I knew from work, and we were on a works night out. Just because you know somebody, work with them, or have mutual friends with them, doesn't mean that they can't hurt you. Again, the consumption of alcohol might give other people a false sense of entitlement, and they might judge situations wrong. And they'll do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do while they're sober. The biggest and most important piece of advice I can give to you is stay together. Stay with a friend. Tell somebody else where you're going to be going and when you're going to be there. Give them expected return times and talk ahead of time about what they should do if they don't hear from you by a certain time. Avoid confrontations while you're out. Just walk away. Be aware that one punch can ruin 2 lives. I know it's easy for me to sit here and tell you to walk away. But 16-year-old Connor Stewart threw one punch on a 47-year-old man called Michael Rhodes after he'd been out drinking in Liverpool, and he suffered a fractured skull and was killed because of one punch. Walk away. Whatever the fight is over, it's not worth a life. I really hope that by this point I haven't put you off partying in any way. We should be able to go out without worrying or thinking about any of this, but we can't. Acts of aggression, which include sexual assaults, rape, spiking, fights, can happen to anyone, anywhere. Sometimes people go out with the intention of looking for a victim to attack. Other times, an opportunity for aggression might present itself. It's important to plan ahead before your party or before your night out. My son just rolls his eyes at me when I start telling him how to stay safe while he's out. He says things like, "I don't hang around with people like that, Mum, and it won't happen to me. I'll just run away." He never thinks it'll be him. Whilst we do have control over what we do and how we behave, we can't control other people's behaviour. I am absolutely certain that a victim of rape didn't get up one morning and think, well, today's the day. Nobody ever got ready for a party and thought to themselves, ooh, I'm going to get spiked tonight. A lot of people believe that it won't happen to them. But attacks such as these happen every single day. It's not your fault if you become the victim of a crime. You did nothing to deserve it. The person who carried out the crime is the only one who is responsible. I encourage you all to take a few simple measures to ensure that you stay safe while you're out partying. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the party. Bye for now.